Welcome to the Talking Michigan Transportation Podcast. I'm Jeff Cranston. All right, so once again, I'm talking today with Nick Sharipa, who is our Southwest Media Relations Representative at MDOT and also has been instrumental in getting off the ground an initiative that we sort of borrowed from some other places, most notably Scotland, and took it to, I would say, new heights. And that was the idea of naming snowplows, both to raise awareness about where the plows are in the state, but also just to have some fun with it and find new ways to remind people about the safety imperatives involved in plowing snow and winter maintenance. So Nick, thanks a lot for taking time to talk about this.
Well, shoot, thanks for having me.
So here we are, just about a year into this, and it's caught on well. It took a while. It got some media coverage early on, and then there was a lull, and part of that, of course, was that we were in the off season. But this winter, there's been a lot of interest, and we've made great strides in naming the plows and getting those names on the MyDrive website. Tell me, as you reflect on this, what you think about the program.
This second wind has really been rejuvenating, ? It's been a lot of fun. A labor of love, to be sure, but it's been a lot of fun. You know, we started, as you said, almost exactly a year ago, with what seemed like kind of a shot in the dark, tossed it out on Twitter, and within a matter of hours, you know, we get a couple hundred ideas thrown back at us, and a lot of interest, a lot of really positive energy. And that's when we decided that, yeah, let's do this. Let's jump on it. And we just pressed ahead, and, you know, we designed the web page to get the name submissions kind of put together and have kind of a clearinghouse for that, and got the press release put out, and immediately got some really great media interest in it. And we had an event we put together with an elementary school in Benton Harbor, and the lieutenant governor was kind enough to make time in the schedule to be there for that. And
yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. In fact,
sure.
let's listen to something the lieutenant governor had to say that day when he went to Benton Harbor to meet with the kids at the elementary school that named their plow Tiger.
It is awesome. The kids were super excited about it. I had them teach me some things about how the snowplow works. And I just think the exposure that the department is giving the children about the types of careers and the people, the professionals that take care of them, take care of the community every day, this kind of connection and relationship, it's really beautiful.
So yeah, talk about what it was like being there that day.
That was so much fun. We went with, you know, it was just one elementary school class that was chosen. They picked the name Tiger. They named the plow after their elementary school mascot, which so apropos. A lot of fun. One of the maintenance workers at the Coloma garage, actually made the letters, just vinyl stickers, made the letters, and we put a big front blade on the plow just for that occasion, and put the stickers on the plow, and the kids got to sign it, and they all got to take turns sitting with the plow driver in the plow, and really got a chance to, not just in words, but an actual hands-on experience with a snowplow. And it was neat to see. It wasn't just, this big orange machine that drove by. They really got to get an experience with the plow and the driver, and understand what plow operators go through every day during the winter when they're clearing snow.
That's the best part of this, is anytime you can do something like that, it humanizes these otherwise nameless, faceless government workers, and getting them to see these are real people that, are in my community and coach Little League and do other things, that's a great thing about it. And it's probably not crazy to think that it's not too early to start thinking about careers at any age, given the problems getting truck drivers and all kinds of skilled workers in various trades, including snowplow drivers, that, this is something to think about.
That's absolutely true. While we're having a lot of fun picking names for plows, I think that is the happy accident. Certainly that was our intention, but for everybody else outside of our agency, that's the kind of the spin-off benefit of this effort is it does humanize what is one of the probably most taken for granted or least recognized groups of folks and most important groups of folks in our agency. And those are the maintenance workers, the plow drivers. I mean, these are the folks who are on our roads every day doing some of the most dangerous work we have to offer, and often go overlooked, I think, to some extent, or at least taken for granted. And they really are rock stars, borderline superheroes, and some of the work they do every day. And it puts a face on them, right? It as you said, it humanizes them to a great extent, and gives us a chance to put them out front for a change, and really let folks see them, let them be seen by the general public. And I think that's important.
Let's
and
talk
recognize
about
the work they do.
Yeah, let's talk about what drives your enthusiasm for this, because I mean, early on, you and Courtney Bates, who's one of our web administrators and has done yeoman's work getting this on the site and doing a lot of the technical behind the scenes things to make this initiative a reality. You guys both embraced it early on, but I don't think you could have known, any of us could have known when we decided to go forward with this, how much fun it would be and how much feedback we'd get and how many people would participate in offering names. Some, some absurd and not at all serious, but others, outright hilarious. So what do you think about that a year later?
There have been moments, and Courtney, I think, would say the same thing. There have been moments when just side-splitting laughter. I mean, some of the names have just been amazingly funny, witty, some great plays on names. Alice Scooper, the Big Leplowski, Kid Rock Salt. I mean, there are a half a dozen that are plays on the Red Wings, Gordy Plow, Steve Eiserman. As a hockey guy, those
you like.
those hit home.
And Alice Scooper has a Michigan connection too, so that's good.
Sure. There've been some, the Pythagorean theorem. That one made me cackle. I absolutely loved that one when I first read it. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I'm an English major. I'm not a math guy, but Pythagorean theorem. Come on, that's amazing.
No, probably because you have it committed to memory.
Absolutely. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I mean, it's a right triangle. Who doesn't know the Pythagorean theorem? So yeah, there have been some really, really high fun moments. But I think Courtney would agree that there have been some really low moments too. I mean, not just in the amount of work. You stare at a list of 15,400 names. Your eyes start to burn after a while. But we've seen the best of people, but there have been moments we've also seen the worst, and that's been, in all fairness and all honesty, those are some of the lowest moments and some of the hardest moments too.
Yeah, that's the times we live in, and certainly with social media, if you're going to try to get the benefits of social media, you're going to have to deal with that too. But fortunately, there's a lot more good than bad out there, and
absolutely,
people have embraced this, I think. Stay with us. We'll have more on the other side of this important message.
Know before you go. Head on over to MyDrive to check out the latest on road construction and possible delays along your route. For a detailed map, head over to michigan.gov/drive.
Talk about what you think going forward this could do to help with the awareness aspect. If people like to go on the website and see where the plows are. And, I should point out here that, 2/3 of the plowing across the state, or more actually, maybe more like 3/4 of it, is done by local contracted agencies, mostly counties, and that MDOT doesn't even have the majority of the forces doing the plowing. So if this could eventually expand to some of those local agencies that do the plowing, it could be even have a bigger impact.
Sure, and I think it was the city of Lansing has already taken advantage of this, and
right,
they've named some of their plows too. So I mean, it's obviously, and we're in our second winter, and this is, like I said, it's been a second wind for us with a second winter of media coverage. It's almost like it went dormant over the summer, which makes perfect sense. I mean, who's thinking about snowplows during the summer and during the fall? And then as soon as we finished naming plows and just kind of reminded folks it was out there, and it popped back up on my drive again, it got its second wind, and I'm talking about it again with the media and talking about it again with the public. And Courtney, we finally got the rest of the plows named, and Courtney got them on my drive. And just for the sake of clarity, I wanted to, there is a slight discrepancy in numbers. We have about 330 plows, and that's kind of a moving target, but about 330 plows in the state inventory. And we have all of those plows named. Folks are going to see roughly 300, I think it's 299, on the website. That list is on the website, and that's because that's the number of plows that are active on the MyDrive website. We have a number of plows that are in a bullpen, so to speak. We have a number that are backups that are taken out of service and waiting for their turn should a plow go down. We have a number that have been taken out of service because they're broken and they're not currently in service. We had a number of trucks that are named but are brand new and have not yet been put in MyDrive and haven't been activated yet. So out of those other 30-ish plows that aren't listed on the website, it's just because they're not on MyDrive yet. So just that's the discrepancy of folks are counting. They hear me say 330 an awful lot, but then they count the number of names on the website, and there's not 330-ish yet. That's why. But people are really, the energy behind it is positive and it's fun and that's great. And I think moving forward, that can only help everybody when it comes to attention to MyDrive. If we know where the plows are, we know what kind of work the plow drivers are doing. Again, drawing that attention to the work they're doing, both from a human perspective, but also from an agency perspective, knowing where we are, and that helps, know what road conditions are like, and it helps know actually where we are and what work we're doing from an accountability standpoint. And as you pointed out, we're a pretty small percentage, 25 to 30% of the plows that are on the roads at any given point, because so many local agencies also have fleets out there. And that draws attention to the fact that there are other agencies doing the same work. And the more attention I think plow fleets get, the better. People are more aware of where they are and what they're doing. That increases safety, it increases positive attention, it increases awareness, and that's a benefit for everyone.
So I'm reminded that of kind of the understated approach that Ian McDonald, who is involved in winter maintenance at Transport Scotland, and that's largely what our inspiration was for taking this on. And I remember talking to him last year, and he was so low key about it. But he said, going to your point about accountability, that a big driver for them was that when they had snowstorms, people say we never see a gritter on the road, which is what they call snowplows in Scotland, gritters. And he said, so they created the trunk road gritter tracker and named the plows, and that made it easier for people to find out where they were. And somehow it became much more real to people, like, oh, okay, I guess they are out there, they are doing that. So ideally, it's all about awareness. It's all about education. This is not a huge, investment in resources. The time it's taken you guys to sift through the names, certainly there's that manpower hours involved. But overall, I think it's a pretty good cost benefit ratio, don't you?
Absolutely. I think the investment in work hours that Courtney and I have put in just to going through the names and picking the balance of them, and the hours that our maintenance folks and other communications folks have put into picking most of them and getting them on MyDrive. Yeah, the work hours is negligible. You spread that across a year, it's a couple weeks. It's no big deal. But the payout, as Ian said, is just that accountability factor. How many times a year do we hear, where are the plows? And it's not just we, you and I, or Courtney and I, or we, everybody at MDOT. How many times do we hear that when we know they're out around the clock during a winter weather event? We know they're there, and it's hard to pinpoint them. Well, we have the GPS on the trucks. We have them on MyDrive map. Now we get to have a little bit more fun when we point that out to folks. And I think Ian's point is spot on.
And God knows we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we launched this in the middle of a pandemic, and anything that creates a little bit of a diversion and maybe gives us some laughs is well worth it.
Certainly. A little bit of light humor always helps.
So put you on the spot here. Going back to the beginning, we joked about Plowing McPlowface and Sir Salts-a-Lot, and then some of the other names that you rolled out earlier. What's your personal favorite?
That is, people have asked me that isn't possible. That is not a possible question to answer.
Well, which one do you remember really,
Pythagorean theorem. Hands
okay,
down.
that's it.
That is the one that made me smile the biggest and laugh the hardest, which makes no sense because Gordy Plow, Steve Eiserman, the grind line, there were a handful of Red Wings references that all made my heart a little warm, and I kind of like those. But I don't know what it is about Pythagorean theorem. That one just gets me every time.
When you're officiating hockey and breaking up a fight, do you just throw out some of those names to, kind of bring the temperature down?
I certainly do have de-escalation techniques I use when I'm officiating ice hockey, but most of them cannot be spoken here on this podcast. Those are trade secrets I can't divulge to the general public.
All right. Well, thanks, Nick, for what you've done with this. It's been great, I think, for the department and for the state. And there's certainly a safety aspect to it, which is really an imperative for everything. And you and Courtney deserve a lot of credit for running with this. And I think things can only grow from here.
Well, thank you for giving us the rope to play with this one. And we've had a lot of fun. And Courtney certainly deserves a lion's share of the thanks. She has done so much work behind the scenes, and she's probably going to be mad at me for saying all that. But she really is the driving force behind making all this so visible and happen so quickly. It would not have happened without her and her efforts. So again, thank you for giving us the latitude to play with it and have a little bit of fun.
Oh, I agree. Well said.
Thank you again for listening to this week's edition of the Talking Michigan Transportation Podcast. I would like to thank Randy Dubler and Corey Peedy for engineering this week's podcast. To subscribe to show notes and more, go to Apple Podcasts and search for Talking Michigan Transportation.